The following podcast uses words like and also. If you're not into any of that shit, then now's your chance.
3, 2, 1.
Run.
Super familiar with Get it!
All right, so we welcome Erik Norvald Røe to the program. Our mutual friend, Chris Barron, says hello, by the way.
That's nice. That's nice. He's a good friend.
He's a good guy. He's exceedingly generous with his time with us, and we're grateful. And when you listen to this episode, you will hear it is his voice doing our theme song.
Ooh, that's cool.
I will have you know. You know.
Yeah.
He says to resist the urge just to talk about him, though. So let me let me quickly move on to talking about you. So we interviewed Chris, lead singer of the Spin Doctors, and through him I got to know about the Canoes.
Yeah.
And I downloaded the album, and I freaking loved it, man.
It's the Booze and Canoes album.
Yeah, exceptional. And
did Chris tell how it came about, like becoming the Canoes and the type of the album? Yeah.
Yes.
All of that. It's a fun story.
And it was just basically a joke, right? It was a bit of a gas.
It was a joke. I was rolling on the floor laughing, drunk on aquavita and beer. And we just had the best of times, and writing all these shitty songs for pop acts. You get this sheet from like EMI Germany. A girl 22 years old need a song that's very much alike this and that song. The lyrics has to be dumbed down, and we were just like, what the fuck are we doing? Let's write some real songs.
Yeah. And from that came the classic "Thank God I'm an Idiot."
Oh yes, it did. That's a good one. Trying to get away from all chores.
Yeah, it's my favorite song, and my wife Amanda is not here with us right now. It's not so much her favorite song, but it is my favorite song.
I can see that.
In that song, I heard the voice. I heard your voice, and I said, I gotta find out who this voice belongs to. Your instrument, my friend, is incredible.
Thank you. It's like people say that, and I appreciate it, but it's so natural for me to sing that I don't quite take the feedback. Like I've been singing since I was 10, because I joined bands and nobody wanted to sing, so I was just like, okay, I'm gonna sing, and instantly I was singing like I do now, basically. Maybe the phrasing and the maturity of dynamics and stuff has developed, hopefully, but I'm unschooled. There is just something in me that has to sing. So every morning I sit down here in my little, with all the nice small old guitars, and I sing for a while before I have to do my day. So I don't know. Thank you for pointing it out, but singing is the only thing I know how to do, basically.
Well,
the rest is.
It's a good thing that you that you now have the ability to just do that for a living. But I would say that perhaps you aren't unschooled. Surely there were strong influences that steered you in this direction vocally.
Yes. I've been like influenced from like the old soul, and very much the simple singer-songwriter soul, like Bill Withers and Otis Redding. Those songs. I went to karaoke's and sang all of those,
Yeah.
And it's just the simplicity and the roughness. It's smooth in one way, but it's rough also. They play the guitar roughly. It's 3-4 chords. It just works. It's very simple choruses. It's a very simple build-up, and it's a very direct way of singing and speaking to the listener. It's like it can be a very close love song. It can be from all angles love songs. It can be really heartfelt. It could be about your grandmother. It could be.
Yeah.
It's just so close, and there's so. I like that there's so little pictures of big stuff that is going to portray something else that you have to put together in your mind.
Yeah.
Oh, so the sky is falling down while I'm. It's like the opposite of writing that way. And that fascinated me with this project because in the Canoes we have some beautiful weird lines that takes you places. But with my project, it's important for me to dumb it down in my way and to
Yeah.
say things directly. And also the beauty of making a simple thing work.
Mhm.
I'm like this. I don't hope I carve wrong, but I want to carve. I want to get
Yeah.
into something, and then it has to be a simple form in the end. And it has to. My paradigm is that it has to work with me on the guitar and my
Yeah.
voice, and then I
Yes.
can produce it however. But I need to scrape it down to that very basic. And then if it works, it's a good song for me at least. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we were listening to in the car this morning, "Matches to Ashes," which just came out,
Yeah.
and you grabbed me. That song is so full of these little phrases, right, that are
Yeah.
building this picture. You grabbed me with a line like, "Love is a game you lose when you win it," and
Yep.
all of just these little lines. I was like, "Oh, that it's a great song. I love
It's a
that song."
great song. And there is a story. We talked about Chris. Uh, some people invited Chris over for this songwriters seminar. And he was tired of writing pop songs with people in New
Yeah.
York. And he was like, maybe I should just go. Just change of scenery at least.
Yes.
And the guy who arranged it couldn't pick him up at the airport. So he called me like last minute. Can you go and get Chris? And I'm like, shit, I'm starstruck because he was such a hero in the 90s. I have
Yeah.
a good story about that too. Um, so I picked him up and I went to show him a fjord and he was just like, oh God, take me to the hotel. But then he was just like, I'm kind of loving this. And
So
we went to the studio.
he told
Yeah,
that story, and
yeah,
the way he describes the fjord, and that we'll get back to that
yeah.
because the way he described it is like heaven on earth. But please do continue.
Yeah, and so we went to the studio. We grabbed something to eat, and we went to the studio. And I had this idea, and that was Matches to Ashes. And
Oh wow.
I had the first verse figured out, and like the lead up to the chorus and everything. And I also had the first lines in the chorus. But then I was like, how the fuck can I say in a few words that this is existential? It is about the whole run. It's beginning till end. It's not
Yes.
about shining in a period of your life. Oh, we're gonna be passionate when we are 23. It's about life. And and Chris was just casually, what about Matches to Ashes? And I was like, Chris, I love you. So
Yeah.
from that instant, we became very close friends.
That's a great story. I love
It's
that.
beautiful. Yeah, yeah,
I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall. I love songwriting sessions anywhere where you just have a bunch of songwriters
yeah,
and just watching the ideas go back and forth.
yeah,
That to me is, I mean, I write songs myself, and I'm in a songwriting email group where we send things back and forth. It's not the
yeah.
same as being all in the same room, but even the stuff that no one ever hears has got to be magic.
Yeah, I really like that setting, but for me, I may be, uh, I may be feel safer riding with Chris and Boots, another artist, or Arne from the Canoes. I tried to pick the same songwriters to do my most vulnerable or intimate stuff for my solo project. I've written with tons of people, and sometimes the songs become really good, sometimes the song is shelved. But there is always some quality to it. You sit and, whoa, 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 this is cool.
Yeah.
Uh, but the strength of writing with Chris, for instance, is that we know each other just uh, as friends and in writing. So the cool thing is that you can make a fool of yourself. And when you lower your guard that low and you pour out, the other person can even start laughing, like, what the fuck, that line is hilarious. You can't say that in this song. And we both laugh. It's not like you get embarrassed. So I'd rather put out 90 different angles in a line and then suddenly it sticks. Or Chris is ahead of me and says something and it sticks. It's like, yeah, everything for the song.
Yeah,
And if
no,
you're
absolutely.
that safe, I feel the material gets better because you go places with the lyrics that you normally in a session would like, yeah, what if we say this or that? I can really make a fool of myself. And sometimes Chris is saying, because I'm not, English is not my first language. So sometimes I say a phrase that I think is an American expression for something else. And he's like, ho, 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 what did you say? And I was like, I just said the thing you always say. No, it's not said like that. That's beautiful. It's a
Yeah,
twist of the thing. And I'm like,
yeah,
what? So,
yeah.
yeah, we can play around without feeling embarrassed or bad or, yeah. And that's the strength because eventually it builds to something fine, something good. Yeah.
Yeah, well, like I said, I love what I hear so far. I think you only have the 3 songs out now, or are
I
there
have
more
3.
songs?
I
Yeah,
have
yeah, yeah.
3, and one more is coming on November 10th.
Okay.
A song I
Okay.
wrote with Chris in a writing session break with other people, and we were finished with our session, and we were like, we had to go into the organ guitar room in a studio, like empty room with some amps, and
Mm.
I had a guitar, and I was like, we have to wait 20 minutes for those idiots before lunch. And we just fooled around, and in 20 minutes, that song was there. Broken Finger. It's like a song about paranoia, and
Oh,
it's like I can't pull the trigger because my finger has been broken. So it's
oh,
like the darkest, darkest, darkest place you can get. It's like below the basement, and we wrote it in such a happy mode, but everything is falling apart. The wolf is at your door. There's a darkness in my basement. It's like everything is falling apart, but still it's a happy. My broken finger, ooh, and it's like the contrast there is beautiful, but it's produced more like a small filmatic thing. It's much bigger, just to show that you can also go there. But I like the song even better with the guitar, just like
yeah.
rough and tough. Yeah,
I feel like,
because
correct me, go
yeah,
ahead.
because I'm so bad at guitar that it becomes cool in a way. It's true. It's true. If I'm in a
Jack Black.
party, if you're
That's
in
the
an
Jack Black thing.
if you're in an after party, everyone in the room is better than me on the guitar. I
Mhm,
promise you. I've not once witnessed a guitar player worse than me.
mhm.
But when I get the guitar and I play the basic chords and sing, it's kind of working.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm just a fucking fraud. Yeah,
Aren't we all? Come on now.
yeah, yeah.
No,
Oh,
but there is something to that. And as you get older and as you get more experience and as you start to get more perspective on, well, life is short. We don't have a lot of time. I'm
yeah.
sure that helps with the vulnerability as well.
I think so. And when you say that time flies and you get older, and I could have done this project before also. And I meant to do it. I've meant to be doing it all the time, but I've been doing theater, making the Canoes, uh, doing jazz collaborations, doing concerts, doing everything just to like sing and have a job, and procrastinating so badly
Mm.
on this project for maybe a reason I don't know, because I've been in contact with people in the music business and they're like, oh yeah, it's nice and blah blah blah, can you but they never like follow up on it. And I know if you get in a system like that, it's like, I've been there before. It's a sales department trying to
Mhm.
do something for you, and it's not always good for you. It
Yeah.
can be targeted wrong. It could be, and you don't have a hands-on contact, and your covers look different, and you know all of this. So I didn't want to jeopardize both visually and music-wise the thing I was doing. But I'm so glad I waited, and I waited because of many things. But I was really, really scared of doing it because it is kind of close. I've loved music like that since I was 12. And I was in a big, big funk soul band where of course, I had my singing angle inside
Mhm.
it.
Yep.
And it was almost what I uh, wanted. But you know, if you're a group, it's everybody is like contributing to a vibe, and altogether it becomes another whole thing than just yourself. So even through my band period, I sat down like, shh, and then I tried to sing how I actually sing. So it's the first time I can get up in the morning with the verse, with the voice like cracked, and I can sit down and I can sing my own songs because I've written them for the voice in a way.
Yeah.
And if I have to do something in the concert house, like you have to sing this jazz song with the symphony orchestra or something, I rehearse, try to get the voice in place, all of this, because it's not close to me.
Yes.
That's weird. It's also with lyrics, but especially for me with the voice, it's so personal. But my stuff I can just sing, and I don't think about it, and I need to sing it. So I don't know. Singing is like my meditation or something. I just
Sure.
disappear. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I've been through some hard times trying to figure how to do my project. So I'm not gonna deny that it's been a bit tough around the whole thing, and my confidence went down, and I
Mhm.
used my talent elsewhere just because I could. Because I could. I'm fixing that. I can do the stage on the theater. I can do and it's easier. It's even though it's hard to do that. It's more in the comfort zone than putting yourself out there. Like, this is my
Yeah.
project, and people are
Yeah.
like, oh, I don't like it or whatever. So it's been a long, long way. And then the pandemic hit, and I just started playing disc golf. So I just went to the forest throwing discs, basically. And uh, I walked so much in the woods. I have this UDisc app, and I was looking at it after 3 months. I got better and better. I bought more and more discs, and I had been walking in the same little forest,
Yeah.
uh, 580 kilometers in 3 months.
Don't ask me to
So
do that math, folks, but you can look that up and see what that is in American miles.
yeah. We're on metric here.
Yes, that's right. But I did want to, that leads, gosh, so many things are coming to my mind right now, and I'm writing this down because I
Yeah.
don't want to forget it, that I want to come back to. But I did
Yeah.
want to talk about how beautiful your country is. I've never had the pleasure of being there. Chris described it, and of course, when he did, I went and I looked at it. Surely it is easier to create and be in a creative space in such a beautiful place.
I would imagine so. Um, there is also a thing about when we talk about comfort zones and contained spaces, and you sit every day in an office or wherever you operate, you get formed by it also. Your mind gets trapped the same way as the furniture is trapped
Yes.
inside walls. It's like, and Chris and I had discussions about that the creativity itself uh, can be anywhere, but without some impulses, it can't thrive. So if you go out and see something beautiful, or hike a mountain, or experience something and talk about stuff that you don't talk in the studio about, like only music or this or that, you actually talk about life. talk about nature, where we are from, all of this, and it opens a headspace for creativity, at least for me. So that's a beautiful thing. And
Yeah, and
Norway is beautiful.
oh my gosh, it looks incredible. But I would imagine that's across humanity. Like we are, I think we are made to be in big wide open spaces, and then what we've done is we've made these boxes to stuff ourselves in to our
Yeah.
detriment.
Yeah,
But
it's not.
I'm sorry. What were you
No,
going to say?
go.
No, it's so the last couple of weeks here on our show, and Erik, I would encourage you to go listen because I had two phenomenal songwriters on, and both of them talked about our conversation went in the direction of singing and writing as therapy, and surely it sounds like that's a thing that you as well have encountered.
Yeah, even more. Uh, Not maybe sitting and writing, constructing, but more just singing and making ideas flow and recording that. It's like just being freer than writing, but it is
Yep.
writing. That's
Yes.
my and very often when I tend to sit up too late, watch series and goof around.
Yes.
So my wife is in bed and all of this, and I come way too late up in bed. And I'm so damn tired. I should have gone to bed 2 hours before, every fucking day. And I lay down, and I'm so tired, and I almost fall asleep. And then a song comes. It's like,
Yes.
fuck. And I know that, if I sleep, I'm gonna forget the idea. And then I have to run down to the basement again. This happens a lot. And then I have my phone, and I close the door, and I sing the idea. And sometimes the idea is in the right chord. So
Yes.
I half dream a melody in the right chord, and I go down and I pick up the guitar, and it's like, I knew it was an E. It's crazy. So a lot of snippets for my project, snippets and grooves and melodies and some chords, and comes that way also.
Yeah.
And then I bring them up in a session with whoever or Chris and I say, is this something? Isn't this something? Listen to this weird thing. And most of the time it's like, yeah, you have an idea. So I like spinning ideas better than writing a whole song. I
Yeah.
like better to put everything out there first and then narrow it down. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There also is something about that space between being awake and asleep
Yeah.
that you're so in touch. You're almost in touch with both worlds. You've got your the real world, your wide awake world, but then there's that creative world of anything can happen of your dreams, and that
Yeah.
bridge is where you're getting those ideas, and that's pretty
But
amazing.
it is weird. It is weird that it happens. And it happened the other day. And the last time before that it happened, I was actually going to a songwriter session. And I was like, I didn't think that I was going. I was like, just like, oh, I need to get to bed. We're meeting in the studio tomorrow. And the same shit happened. And I ran down, recorded a lot of things, and even like bass lines. I get like, yeah. And then I go to this session and with two other guys, a producer, very good producer, and a songwriter. And I sit down and we say, so what we're gonna write? And they were like, we don't know, something from scratch. We don't know. And I have an idea. And the idea was like 7 hours old. And then because the idea is there, it takes 1 hour to put everything in place.
Yeah.
It's even programmed with a good producer in the room. It's like it's done in an hour just because of the idea. So it's not always that you can construct without a purpose anything. But sometimes that also is like just a vibe in the room, just like somebody is like, oh shit, and it's happening.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
I think it's easier when you meet other songwriters to have a clear idea. So I always have 5, 6, 7 good ideas because if it's stuck, it's stuck. And I don't want to write something that is, I don't know. So everybody should do that. And sometimes I've gone to sessions, especially with Chris, and he has almost a finished frame. It's just like, Chris, if you change that chord, it will lift in the melody. And if we do, and it's just tweaking it, and then it's done. And he didn't even know. It's like, yeah, sometimes the idea comes from others, and it's easy to see with an objective mind where they are stuck.
See,
So in that way,
so good.
I tend to like people sometimes.
That's the way. That's the way.
Sometimes.
Yeah. I
Oh,
swear though, you got a good, I don't know if you know what TED Talks are, but you got a good TED Talk in you with
oh
all of this
damn.
stuff. Oh, this is good. This
Yeah,
is
this is
good.
good.
Creative people need to hear these things. They need to understand the joy and the value in this kind of collaboration, and
Oh yeah.
it's all good stuff.
And I also come from a place of teamwork. I come from a big funk band.
Yeah.
We wrote everything.
Combination, right?
Yeah, we wrote everything together. We toured together. We lived together.
Mhm.
It was that collective mindset. And I played basketball when I grew up,
Oh,
actively all the way up to the first division. And that also is like a flow zone, teamwork. You know your
sure.
teammates for many years, maybe. So it's the same in a band. I was 10 years, and so I come from a place of collaboration. So
Mhm.
it's a bit hard for me doing my solo career as well, because it's nice to take your own decisions, to make your own decisions, and no, that's ugly, that's nice, I'm not going to play there, I'm playing there, I'm not using that guitar, I'm not recording that song. That's okay, but there is also something in me that wants to be around people,
Yeah.
flesh and blood, and ideas, and
Yeah.
other mindsets, other perspectives. Even
Yeah.
if you're locked on a perspective, it can be very uninteresting very fast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Most
yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
That's the one thing that concerns me about the rise of artificial intelligence is that sure you can have someone write lyrics in the voice of, I don't know, the Spin Doctors, and
Yeah,
they'll
yeah,
spit out lyrics, and it may be a good approximation. But I think that the only thing that really matters, you're getting a little Wilson theology here. The
yeah,
only thing that really matters is what we do with other people in life.
yeah,
So the magic in writing, the magic in music, the magic in cooking a good stew, all of it
yeah,
has to do with how people are contributing to it.
yeah. And relations are more important than anything else.
Yes.
That's how we're
Yes.
made. We don't always get that. It's like, oh, I'm going to do this for myself. I'm going to get more. I'm going to, people can be like that and they get miserable.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I wonder though if there's and again, I'm not super familiar with your society, your culture. I wonder if your culture lends itself more to that type of connection than maybe American culture.
I
Is
don't
that
know,
so or
but
no?
I think people in general are pretty open-minded here for that kind of discussions. And
Mhm.
I don't know, but I don't know if what difference there is actually. I've
Yeah.
been to America sometimes, but maybe not enough to spot the real differences, because I think
Yeah.
everybody is so nice in the States. Actually, yeah. I think everybody is, yeah, but everybody approaches you. Everybody says hi. I can go to a deli in Manhattan 3 days in a row, and on the fourth day, he just puts my thing on the counter and says hi. In Norway,
Yeah.
I go to the same fucking store for 20 years and they don't look up. So it can be both ways, you know?
It can, but I will tell you. So, don't hold this against me, but I'm in Florida right now. This is where
All
we
right.
live. I have found, because I've been to New York City several times, I have found that the people in New York are amongst the most friendly that I've experienced here in the States. And they
Yeah.
get a bad rap, or they've gotten a bad rap. But no, New Yorkers will help you out.
No,
They
no,
will.
they're people are more cheeky in Copenhagen, you know?
Oh, okay. I keep that in mind.
Yeah, I think New Yorkers are so nice, and people can think that, oh, it's so tough. They're just, but no, no, man. They just
No.
leave each other alone when you have to. People can sing and dance in the street, whatever.
Yeah.
And if you approach someone with a real conversation, they're nice. So
Yeah, absolutely.
that's my take on it.
All right, so tell me what's next for you, Erik? Like what's in your immediate future?
It's I'm releasing this EP now in November. I'm doing some small gigs. I want to keep it really close. And it's like, I don't know what's going to happen with it, but I've given myself some time to like, I'm going to New York January to meet up with two producers and discussing, because I've written so many songs that I want more songs. I want to
Yeah.
make a library so I can go out and people can relate to, and that's the most important. But I'm gonna try and promote this EP a little bit and try to do the design nicely. Try to get some followers again, because I changed my name. It may not have been a good idea in Norway.
Mm.
Uh, because I never used that middle name, and so people
Oh,
don't really know who is that. But eventually, maybe it spreads. I'm just soldiering on in my own little. I've been reading too much Rick Rubin, and he's talking about the most important thing is to be happy yourself with
yes.
what you do, and if you like it, that's it. That's where the magic is, and you cannot. It's like. Uh, the rest of it is just a consequence you can't control.
Mhm.
So success is just, I feel this is success because for me it's waterproof. If people can listen to it, I don't care if they don't like it. That's another thing.
Yeah.
But if they ask me like, why did you do that? Why is the guitar like that? Why is the organ? Why is it so slick? Why is the reverb? Blah blah blah. Why is the text line this? Why is it? I can be like, oh, because I
Mhm.
want this. Why is the cover? I did this. Uh, it's like, it's so waterproof that I thought about that because I went to a radio interview early one morning for the first single. And it's like, shit, my project is gonna happen. And but then I was so relaxed on the way to the studio. I was just like smiling, the sun was coming up, and I was like, there's nothing to be afraid of because it's waterproof. I
Mhm.
controlled everything. They can ask me anything. I can even admit that one song, oh, we did this, or no, it's an old song, or whatever. I can admit to anything that I hit a wall, uh, pandemic wise,
Mhm.
like boom. And I can admit everything. I had to go to the doctor and just say, am I dying or should we talk? It's like, but if you are that loose with everything and that sure of what you do, it's very comfortable.
Yeah.
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 It's not comfortable to go out there, but the project itself is waterproof for me. And I'm gonna
Yeah.
soldier on in the same direction. I have to like it myself. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna let a producer uh, like derail it. It's not gonna happen. So
Mhm.
I want to be in in charge. Yeah, that's the good thing of being alone. Yeah,
Yeah, no, and I love that for you, that you're at the point where you realize that as long as you love it, that's all that matters. That to me, that's
yeah,
the pinnacle of any creative work, that you're just
I
happy with
think
it.
so. But it's what the fuck? It's taking 54 years to get there to realize that. How fucking stupid is that?
No, man, maybe that's how
People,
long it takes. Maybe that's how long it
humans,
takes.
humans.
Maybe that's the thing, though. Like
I don't know,
maybe
but
you say that you're procrastinating and putting it off and all these things.
yeah,
Maybe you couldn't do it before now. So this is
I
just when you've done it.
I've been thinking about it because if I had done it before with other people that I was talking to and all of this. Uh, I don't know if my headspace would be right for it. So it feels actually good to have been waiting. And the weird thing is that I didn't send this to any of my record companies because I was signed to Warner and Sony and Universal for projects.
Yes.
And I didn't contact any of my contacts with this. I was just like shelving it and like, oh, I don't dare to do it.
Yeah.
And then these youngsters, like hip hoppers from a company called Stavanger Cartel, came up to me like, hey man, we heard you are recording some shit. Can we hear it? And I'm like, yeah, you can hear it. And they were just like, what the fuck? You have to release this. And I was like, yeah, maybe I'm going to release it. And I don't quite know what to do. And they say, well, contact us if you want to do it. We're really stoked on it. And we can help you. And then I didn't get back to them for a long while because I don't know. And so when I messaged them, I was like, I thought, now they think I'm an idiot because I didn't follow up on the thing. And they're going to say, no, we're too busy, we don't want to work, or he can't, you can't trust him, or whatever. And I sent this message like, hi, should we have a talk about my project and blah, blah, blah. Are you still interested? And there was just like 1 second, come by for a coffee. And I went by and I said, I think it's time, but I guess you guys didn't hear from me. I'm so sorry. And they were like, no, it's time. Let's do it. So it all came together in the end. And it's like young people. And I pay some film school students to do my video things. I found a photographer that's like half professional, do my I just connect with people even in the same building. They have like workspaces, artists, photographer upstairs. I just like, okay, let's use them. It's like, it's easy, it's very low key, and it's like, it's costing me $1, but it looks like $1 million. That's my, no, that's the thing, you know?
Yeah,
And,
that's
and
excellent.
kids, I was filming down here in my studio. I made a live version of Matches to Ashes, only with the
I saw
guitar.
that. Yeah.
So it's coming a full
Oh, you did
full
another
on
live
take,
version then, right?
just really acoustic.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
beautiful. So we filmed until 11 some days ago and last week, and you know a professional firm would like do this and that, and yeah, we're gonna edit it and blah 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 and invoice you for days and days, and so this kid is rigging his cameras and lights and boom boom, taking his car to get one little lava lamp or whatever. They're just so, and I give them a slice of pizza and a beer and stuff,
Yeah.
and at 4:03 in the morning, there was this WeTransfer mail. It's ready.
Yeah.
Mixing two sound signals together, checking done everything, two camera cutting, everything was done, looking amazing. I can put it straight to YouTube. You know,
Yeah.
why not? Just and they are hungry.
Yep.
They want to do stuff and show people that I can do this. I like that energy instead of
Yeah, and you gave them a chance that they wouldn't normally have. No one's going to give them that shot.
no. And they made my other video for Take Me Down.
Is
In
that
this phase, we had a
yeah, is
meeting,
that
and yeah,
I
it's like
saw one. Did I not see a live version of a song that you did recently? Or
I
am I
made
imagining that?
maybe snippets, and I'm
Okay.
trying to just throw things out because people haven't seen me in years in this
Yes.
session.
Yeah.
So I have to like show people that I sing and dance, you know. Still, yeah, because I've been under the radar for years. I've been in local theaters. I've been
Yeah.
doing Jesus Christ Superstar a couple of times. I've been
Amazing.
playing Nelson Mandela. I've been always
I'm
characters
sorry.
like that.
What now? Well, you've been playing whom?
Nelson Mandela in a
How does
play.
that work?
That works well because it was this half abstract play where you have to like, if you go in a certain way into the darkness, when you come out again, the light is different than the light you had before you went in. So it's about characters going away, like Nelson Mandela, 26, 27 years in jail. And it was Turner, the painter, got blind during a period. It was Darwin. He lost his, he didn't put out his works for 27 years. And so it was just like a play about that. So it didn't really matter how people looked. You're portraying a character. I was portraying him from young to old. So in the beginning, a white suit, barefoot. He was full of power. He ordered weapons to have a revolution. He was a very strong young man, and people look upon him as this smiling old nice dude. And he became wise and political, and of course he did. But people forget the strength of that young man, and he was dangerous, so they framed him. So Act 2, I'm in the roof in a small steel cage that I barely can fit in, with the ukulele going more and more crazy. So it was so many nice things happened with that light. They came out with a sort of dignity in the light. Not only like, it's so happy, but in the beginning it was this light happiness, this garden happiness. And in the end it was some light, but still a lot of strength. So that was a nice play. We can't talk about that forever, but it's fun to talk about too.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. And again, it reflects this journey that, maybe not to the degree, but again, maybe you couldn't have done these songs without all of the experiences that you've had through your life that added a little shade to the light.
It adds up in a way, everything. I don't know.
Yeah.
The acting, the singing, the different genres, like jazz. You have to do a whole Sinatra night with a jazz band in the concert hall. That teaches you something, and with timing and with phrasing and interpreting lyrics, and then you're in the theater doing crazy stuff. And so I think it adds up. But now I have said, this year I said no to a couple of productions, one big one in Oslo, and I did it for my own good because my only goal this year was to sharpen. That's why I also changed the name, because everybody's like, so are you in theater now? Are you doing Beatles songs next weekend? Are you in Oslo? Are you in Denmark doing contemporary opera? It's like, what are you doing, man? So I was like, shit, people don't really know how my songs are. So that's why I had to narrow it down, took my middle name, so everything that's out under that name is very close to, to my expression. So that's super important. Success or not, it's super important just to do it. So that's where I'm at. I have to continue doing it. Yeah.
I love it. Well, I want everyone listening to go look for Norvald, right? And you have that on YouTube. It's on Instagram. I'm sure that it's in a bunch of other places as well. What is your website?
It's a very good question, because I'm in a conflict with the company that bought my domain. 10 years ago, I bought norwald.no and norwald.com. And somehow along the way, a company has snatched it from the operator, and I'm now in a conflict with the operator.
Okay.
Why did you give away? I have the invoicing here for everything, and so that's a conflict. But so we didn't actually. Oh yes, I have one that's called Norwald Records.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
But it's just leading you to the. It's just a link tree. Nobody is like, before I have a following, there's no use having a website. It's going to be 10 people on it for a year. It's like.
Sure.
So that's in the future when the following is growing. Of course, you need an official place to guide people to everything. But for now, I'm doing social media at 54 years old. That's pretty hard. spend a lot of time, what the fuck am I posting? And I'm also afraid that people get so tired of you, and I get tired of myself actually. So I have to find a way to do it relaxed as me,
Yes.
and also have some professional pictures and the sound of it and blah blah blah. So it looks pretty nice, but still, I think you have to goof around and be yourself.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Because
Well,
yeah,
go.
in psychiatry they talk about front and backstage. If you try to be something you are not, and then you have the other space that's you, it can be very stressful to be in your front space,
Hmm.
and you can get really depressed, you can get really derailed by it. So I try to balance it out, like I show some things of my personality and of course the professional artist thing, but still very close to who you are, because it's easier like this to talk about stuff. It's easier.
Yeah.
I could sit here now and plan what I'm going to say about those songs, or oh, I need this to be received as this and this. They need to see this serious soul singer or whatever. So
Mm.
I have let go of that actually. I was picturing me doing a very stylish setup and not talking to people, just like you can have ideas about how projects should look, and but I very soon found out that I'm lowering the guard. I'm trying to
It's
have
good.
fun with this. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
good. I especially like when you post your bloopers of you trying to do a
That's
social
so
media post.
that's so funny. The one from Greece where I step on on a rock, and I just like, oh, that's so stupid.
People love that. I love that.
Yeah,
Well,
but
I'm going to let you go. You've been
yeah,
exceedingly generous. And what the folks don't know is that it was half an hour of us going back and forth on Messenger trying to even make this happen. So thank you for
yep,
being very patient. It's so wonderful to talk to you.
yeah, same.
Finally get to talk
Likewise,
to you.
likewise. It was a very, very good little chat. I forgot that we were recording. Actually, I was just
Oh,
talking to you.
yes,
That
yes.
that's a good thing.
That's my special talent.
Yeah,
Well, please do. Let's do this again sometimes. I mean,
yeah.
I can only imagine that you're going to get busier and people are going to be calling for your attention, well deservedly. But let's do this again.
Let's do it again and find other stuff. We can talk for hours, I guess.
Oh, absolutely.